live. Let's get started. So welcome everyone. Tonight's presentation is with Woody Hill from NewTubers YouTube School. I'm reading off the little thing he gave me. He has grown his own channel to over 1,300 subscribers, uploaded over 100 videos, and has made money with YouTube via affiliates, sponsorships, coaching, self-publishing a book, and through his own Skool community. So we're glad to have you here, and welcome. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Christine. I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about what I've learned, and hope this is valuable for everyone. And we'll have some time at the end for questions. But if there's something that's just really itching you and you want to, jump in and ask, that's totally fine. So feel free to. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
I'll be watching the chat too if anyone wants to put anything in there.
There we go. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. So your voice, your channel, and your extra income. This is the Retirement Pocket Cash Club, right? So we're all looking for ways that we can make a little extra money online, and YouTube is definitely one of the most powerful ways that that we can do that, and one of the most powerful tools that we can leverage to that end. I just wanted to start with an analogy. So knowledge is kind of like a river. It can be pretty big and pretty overwhelming if you think of just all the information that is out there at our fingertips through AI and everything else. It's almost overwhelming, right? There's just so much of it. And a lot of people might be standing on the bank of the river, not knowing exactly where to drink from, right? Like which bit of this is what we actually want. I've heard it said that sharing your knowledge is like taking a cup and taking a scoop of water out of that river and handing it to somebody. And on the one hand, anybody can do that, right? But they may not have a cup. They may not know where to scoop the water from. And you might have more experience and you might know how to make this a more digestible experience for them, right? If you think about the knowledge that you have, the experience that you've had, you've lived a long life, right? You've worked a lot. Maybe you've worked at different jobs. You've had different experiences, different struggles, different successes. And so in this metaphor of the river, you might know where the cleanest water is, where it's kind of filtered by the rocks, and it's not going to have a lot of dirt or pebbles kicked up into it. You might, before you hand that knowledge over to someone, you might not just hand it to them, but you might dress it up a little bit. You might put some ice cubes in it. You might put a straw in it. You might put a little umbrella in it. So you could make it more pleasant, more digestible for them. So sharing your experience, the reason I share this metaphor is because a lot of people feel like they have imposter syndrome. And when it comes to sharing what you know on YouTube, talking about something that you want to talk about, you might think that everyone else has already talked about this. People can go elsewhere for this information. Why would anybody listen to me, right? These are thoughts we all have, thoughts that I have all the time when I'm going to make a YouTube video and I'm like, what? I might even be saying the same thing I said on a previous video, maybe more than once. And I'll stop myself when I start to have those thoughts and go, somebody will watch this video that has not seen those other videos, whether they were of mine or somebody else's. This might be the first time they are exposed to this information, or maybe it's the 50th time they're exposed to this information, but it gave them the motivation that they needed to go forward and do the thing that they wanted to do, or it gave them that one little perspective or that one little unlock. So know that all that information is out there, but the purpose of your YouTube channel is to kind of distill what is there. And we'll talk a little bit about a framework around how to do that in a little bit, but that's just kind of the metaphor that I want going into this to kind of stick in everybody's mind. We're going to touch on a few things. I won't dive too deep into each of these, but we can kind of explore more avenues of that later on. But let's talk about finding your niche. Some of you may know what you want to talk about already. Some of you may have a lot of ideas about what you want to talk about. Some of you may have no idea about what you want to talk about. I think that it's important before you film anything to at least have some idea of where you intersect in these four spots. I've seen a few different versions of this, one with 3 circles and then a 4th circle added, a Japanese concept called ikigai, if anyone's ever heard of that. But it's kind of the intersection of what you're good at, what you love, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs, right? If you can find one thing that meets all 4 of those criteria, that is the thing you need to make a YouTube channel about. It will be so much easier for you and so much smoother. If you think about things that, so there are things that fall into certain categories and not others, right? You might be good at something that you do for your day job every day because you have a lot of experience with it, but it may not be something that you love, right? You can be paid for it too, if you're being paid for that. And maybe it's something that people need. If you have something that you love, but you can't be paid for it and people don't need it, it might be a hobby. And you might not be good at it, right? Maybe you love it, maybe you're good at it, but you're having a hard time finding out how to be paid for it. You're not sure if people need it. So just considering all of these factors when you're thinking about your niche it's just good to find balance, or at least the intersection of 2 or 3 of them, you know, even if you can't find something that's all 4. And moving on, I think there are 2 types of creators. When you're starting out on YouTube or any other platform for that matter, you either have an idea of what you want to do or you're not quite sure yet, right? People fall into one of those 2 camps. And you might be multi-passionate, and I can identify with that. I've been a very multi-passionate creator. If you look at my YouTube channel, in fact, I'll break out of the presentation for a moment. I'll actually show you my YouTube channel. Some of my top videos, well, they're all over the place, right? The topics are a little bit out there. I've only recently broken away from being this first type of creator and gone into being this second type of creator. But let's talk about those for a moment. So the first type changes topics every few months. You wonder why nothing is sticking. You're having trouble building a loyal audience, and that can become exhausting and frustrating when you're thinking that you should have some traction and you're putting a lot of time and effort into things and you're just not seeing the results that you want to see. The second type of creator picks a lane, they stay in it, and they commit to it for at least a year. You try to build a recognizable brand by doing certain things consistently and by trying to talk to the same group of people. I want to point something out. There is no wrong camp to be in. You can be either one of these, and that's okay. But if you are the first type of creator and you're experimenting, you must understand that the goal is to get to a place where you become the second type of creator. The experimentation is something you should choose to do if you're really not sure, but you know that you need to learn the skills that it takes to be a YouTuber. And it's a lot of micro skills, right? It is, it's presenting, it's speaking, it's writing, it is creating thumbnails, so it's a little bit of graphic design. It is filming. Maybe it's being on camera, or maybe it's faceless, but whether you're doing your voice or an AI voice, it depends. But even then there's a skill set, right? There's the editing piece that comes afterwards. And then the uploading, there's a little bit of YouTube SEO, right? Search engine optimization and understanding how that works. And then the whole business side of it too. Like, what is the purpose of your videos? Are you pointing people towards a business that you're running? So it's a lot of micro skills, and there's more than what I listed. So if you need to figure all those out, then it's okay to just get started, because you will learn those through iterations. So I'd say it's okay to be a type 1 creator. That's how I started out. Now I make YouTube videos pretty consistently about the same topic, talking to the same type of audience member. So I've moved into type 2. whichever one you are at, it's okay, but know that type 2 is where you want to get to, because that is the only way you can build traction and build a loyal audience. So what type of YouTube videos do you make? There are many different formats, and I've listed 5 here on the screen. We'll go through those, but I want to share a few others that aren't on the screen too. Talking head videos, that's where it's just you and the camera. It's pretty much the lowest barrier to entry and often the most personal. So people can see you, they can see you talking, they're getting your natural voice, your natural mannerisms, although it might feel completely unnatural when you're filming it at first, so you get used to, comfortable talking to a camera. But I think this is a great format, and there are a lot of different ways to do this format, the talking head format. Another format is tutorials and how-to videos, and these can be done as a talking head or as a faceless video. There's a few different ways to do tutorials and how-tos, but basically you're explaining how something works, showing people the nitty-gritty, and sharing a little bit about your experience and what you've learned to be successful in whatever you're showing them. So the thing about tutorial videos is that they can be evergreen and people will look for them for years to come. And so that is a good reason to target that kind of format, or at least experiment with it. Another format is video essays. These can be more scripted, more narrative driven. So you're trying to tell a story. And these are great if you like writing and research. Then listicles and explainer videos. These are easy to watch. They're also kind of easy to write. It's like, 5 tips for XYZ, or 3 reasons why this worked, or, 7 reasons why this did not work for me. And then vlogs and documentary style content build strong audience connection over time. And those are maybe a little bit more natural to film. You can be a little bit more impromptu with those. Some other formats that are not on the screen. Unboxing videos. I want to talk about these because we are talking about income, right? How to make money online. And one way to do that is through affiliate marketing. And so talking about products and other people's products, we'll get to this in a little bit, but that's why I'm touching on this in the next format. So an unboxing video, it's where you are opening a product and you're going through everything that's in the box. The next type of video is a product review video, where you're giving your opinion on a product's performance or quality or value, or all of the above for that product. Product reviews and unboxing videos can go hand in hand, and you could make one long video that does both, or make 2 or more separate videos for the same product. So just as an example, let's run with the unboxing thing. So video 1 would be an unboxing this controversial new skincare product. And then video 2 could be first impressions of this weird new skincare product. And then video 3 could be, I used this uncommon skincare product every day for a week. Here's what happened. And then video 4 could be, what this skincare product did to my face after 6 weeks. Hopefully nothing terrible, right? And then video 5 could be a year later, and this is still my favorite skincare product. And you get the idea. You could just run with this topic, and each one of these videos could lead into the next one with the end card at the end of the video. You could put them all in a playlist, and if a viewer finds themselves in that playlist, then the next videos just autoplay. But most importantly, they're all related, right? So the YouTube algorithm knows that you are doing something similar, and so it knows what kind of person to show that video to. Another video format or style that you could do is a presentation video. And that's similar to what we're doing right here with this live stream. You could create a slideshow presentation and then record yourself delivering the presentation. You have the flexibility to either do it live with other people, just like this, and record it and post it later, or you can pre-record it, which gives you a chance to do multiple takes and edit out any goof ups or long silences. Personally, when I record this type of video, sometimes I get a wild hair and I go off script, and I kind of did that in the first half of this live presentation. But even when I'm pre-recording, sometimes I'll go off script because I think of something that I wanted to say and I never put it in the script, right? So if you end up rambling on for a little bit or get repetitive, at least when I do, I look back over the footage later when I'm editing and I think is this really bringing value to my viewer? Is it respecting their time? Or can I scrap this section? So it's your call. You know, what you want to leave in the video and what you want to take out, and all that, you know, whatever ends up in the final edit. The format you pick for whatever videos you make, the format should match your niche and they should match your personality. So if you hate being on camera, a screen share tutorial might be the right starting point for you. If you love storytelling, a documentary or a hybrid might feel a little bit more natural. So you don't have to pick just one. You can always experiment with different formats while staying within a niche, but you do need to start somewhere.
Hey, Woody, can I interrupt you 1 second?
Sure thing.
My monitor died and it's just acting flaky all day. And right now I have no screen. So I'm going to be fiddling with it for a while. I hope I get you guys back soon.
Gotcha. Okay, no worries.
So keep going, but sorry.
I'm gonna keep going, and yeah,
I
do
gotta
what
crawl
you
under
gotta
my
do.
desk. So
I got a few more minutes here before we get to Q&A. All right.
okay.
So talking about going from idea to a published video, there's a framework I'd like to share with you. If anyone's familiar with Tiago Forte or the book Building a Second Brain, this comes from that. But it's the C.O.D.E framework, and that's to capture, then organize, and then distill, and then express. So this can be applied to just the video idea itself, but it can also be applied to the whole process of creating a video. So there's a few different ways to look at this. But when you get a video idea, you want a place where you can capture that quickly the moment that it comes to you without any friction. For me, this is usually just pulling out my phone, opening up a new note in Apple Notes, and jotting down the idea. And that's it. And I can go find it later, right? It's searchable, it's on my device. It can be whatever your preference is. It might be a physical journal, but just someplace real quick where you can write it down before it leaves your brain forever and it's lost, right? After you capture something, you want to organize your thoughts. So you want to keep all the related pieces for a specific video together. And so that is kind of like a review step where you go through the things you captured and then you decide where they need to go in order to be useful next. And then distilling is where you take these things that you've captured and organized, and then you decide what actually serves the project that you're trying to work on. So this is usually a period of elimination, right? You've captured maybe more stuff than you need. Now you're kind of weeding through and finding just the good stuff that you want to leave in. And then the express phase is like your output. You're taking all of this work that you did, things you captured, that you organized, that you distilled, and now you're deciding exactly how you want to express those things. In our case, it's in the form of a video, but there are an infinite number of ways to express an idea in the form of a video, right? If we're talking about the idea to a published video, just logistically, pragmatically, the first thing you need to do is have the concept of the video, right? The topic. What is this video about? And maybe even an idea of how you want to present it. The second thing you need is a title. I know it says choose title first. You need the concept first, but and then plan out your thumbnail. It doesn't mean that you need to actually go and make the thumbnail finished version that you're going to use when you upload this video, but you have to have an idea. It's good to have an idea of what the title and thumbnail are going to be before you go into the rest. In fact, it's like way less labor intensive to spend a little bit of time thinking about the packaging before you start all the filming and the editing and the things that actually take a lot of time, even before you script it, right? So having those things and validating those things first is important. And there are some ways to do that. You can look on YouTube and see what's working regardless of the niche, right? You can kind of mix and match, and if you watch any content on YouTube about making YouTube videos, you've probably heard a lot of people preach that method, but I do think there's some validity to it. You get, the only way to learn is through experience and learning from what other people have done. And the power of what's already on YouTube is that the information is there, especially with like the vidIQ plugin. So figuring out your title and your thumbnail, and then capture and organize, right? So what's this video about? Do I need to do any research on it? Do I need to pull some clips from some other videos or information from some blogs, or do a little research with an AI tool, but getting all that information into one place, and then thinking through your script and your outline, and then getting ready to film, and then taking that film video that you have recorded and now editing it in your choice of editing software. AI is getting better at helping with this, but in my opinion, it's not totally there yet. But even transcript-based editing is helpful, and there are a few tools that do that very well. And then after you edit your video, before you upload it, you need to get your description and your tags together. There are some things that you need other than your title and thumbnail. They are optional. You don't have to have these to upload a video, but it helps. And if your videos are to drive anyone to something, you want to make sure you have a thought out description and some relevant tags. You don't want to stuff a bunch of tags that have nothing to do with your video. You want to only include a few that are really relevant, or some terms people might be searching for that would bring up the video. Also, with the description, if you're going to include a link in your video, I highly recommend putting it above the fold. If you're not familiar with the fold, when you first look at a YouTube's video description, you know how you usually have to click show more, and then it expands and it shows you the whole thing. Well, before you click that, most people never click that, but it shows you a little bit. So that's the fold. And although maybe for search engine optimization, it might be better to have the first 200 words be a description of the video, if there's something that you want people to click on, an action you want them to take, I highly recommend ignoring that advice and putting your link above the fold. And then immediately after your link, have your description that talks about what's in your video. Then you upload, schedule a time. Do never just upload a video and have it go live right away. Like, YouTube has to process that video a little bit. It has to go, if you're uploading in like 4K and you just go live right away, the first few people that see your video might see it in like standard definition or not the best quality. But the other thing is, the time that you're uploading might not be the best time for your audience, right? Usually between like 7 a.m. and 11 a.m., depending on your time zone, is going to be a good time if you're in the US. That can vary depending on your audience, depending on your niche. YouTube analytics will give you data on that after time. But if you're just getting started, it's usually good to publish sometime in the morning, not too early, not too late. And then reviewing your analytics after the fact. I try not to live and die by the analytics too early on. You really need a large sample of data for any of that to matter and to make sense. But the analytics that I think matter the most early on are going to be your click-through rate and your average view duration, or average view percentage. So of all the people that could click on your video, how many of them are clicking on it? And then of those people who click on it, how long are they staying to watch? Are they leaving after 5 seconds? That's not good. You got to change something about your intro. Are they sticking around for 30, 60, 90 seconds, several minutes? That's better. And so usually I aim for somewhere about 40% or more average view duration to know that I did good in terms of pacing for my video, right? I kept the intro interesting. I kept it moving forward. I opened some curiosity loops, and I made it so they didn't want to leave the video right away.
Okay, we have about 8 minutes left.
8 minutes left. Cool.
Okay.
I'll go through the rest pretty quick here. Just a couple more slides. We'll talk about using AI. And if you're here for fully automating everything to do with your YouTube videos with AI, that's not really what I teach. It's not totally what I'm about. I'm about moving faster with AI, but keeping a human touch. Even this presentation, I wrote out everything I wanted to talk about in no particular order, kind of like a brain dump into my notes. And then I put that into AI and I said, hey, this is my audience. Please organize it in a structure that makes sense and help me with an outline. And then I used AI to generate some basis of slides, but then I went in and I edited them myself and made them look a little bit more like I wanted. I don't trust it to do everything. Experiment. It's getting better, and there are things that it will do better soon, but even when it's coming to like making thumbnails, If the thumbnail has any text on it, that text is usually not in the font you want, or it's not the size you want, or it's not in the place on the thumbnail that you want. It can get kind of goofy, right? So for thumbnails specifically, I might have it help me with the thumbnail without any text. And then I bring that output that the AI gives me into Canva or some other program like Photoshop. And then I add the text exactly how and where I want it on top of that. So that's just one example. We talked a little bit about editing earlier, and then descriptions and tags. You can set things up pretty easily to give an overall description of the video and give you the output that you need for those uploads so that you don't have to spend too much time thinking about those. The general rule of thumb, 70%, the AI will get you 70% of the way there. You've got to bring it the other 30%. And that'll vary depending on the task, but that's basically what I've seen over time. If you're going to get monetized on YouTube, with the YouTube Partner Program, you do need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 long-form watch hours in the last 12 months. Or if you're going with Shorts, you still need 1,000 subscribers, but you need 10 million Shorts views, and those are engaged views in the last 90 days, not people that they change the regular views versus engaged views lately. I don't focus a lot on Shorts. I more preach long forms. I think it's a better way to connect with an audience. But once you're in, then the CPM is what YouTube is charging advertisers per every 1,000 views that you get. Your take home from that, your cut, is going to be the RPM, and those dollar amounts will vary depending on the niche that you're in. If you have a business niche, it may have a $20 or $25 RPM or CPM. But if you're in a gaming niche, it might be a lot lower than that. It might be less than $5 or $10. And then there's all kinds of variance depending on the niche. And these numbers will vary per video too, because certain videos that you make will be targeted towards certain audiences. But before you join the YouTube Partner Program, there's still a way to make money. You can either sell your own stuff, you can sell other people's stuff, or, well, it's really those two things. So different ways, right? Selling your own stuff. If you have a business of your own, if you have a product, if you have a service, maybe coaching, or you have your own community, then every video you make should have that link in the description. And then your YouTube channel page should have that link in the bio. In terms of selling other people's stuff, affiliate marketing is going to be my main recommendation for that. Amazon Associates is one of the easiest ones that you can join. It's not the only affiliate program out there, but it's one of the most simple ones, and you can do a lot with product reviews, unboxings, that kind of thing with Amazon Associates. Sponsorships, you can make money with sponsorships, but I would be careful. There's a lot of scams out there, and it is and then you might be influenced to make videos about something you don't really care about or believe in. I would just encourage you to only take a sponsorship if you've vetted it and it makes sense for you and for your audience. Looking at your metrics, we talked about that earlier: click-through rate, average view duration or average view percentage, and then traffic sources would be the other thing to pay attention to. Where are your viewers coming from? How are they finding your video is more what I mean. You can also look at what countries that they're viewing from, but how are they finding you? Is YouTube recommending your video to them? Are they coming through external traffic? Just getting a sense of, like, if YouTube's recommending this, then I might have hit a topic that is trending. And so paying attention to those things as you analyze one video can help inform the next video that you make. So just wrapping up, I have a couple free resources. You can grab them. The first is a course, NewTubersSchoolCourse.com. It's totally free, no email required, no opt-in required, no credit card required. You can just go to that website and start working your way through the course. And then we have the free NewTubers YouTube School community, which I know a few of you are already in. And both are totally free. There's no catch. I did want to offer, if anyone's looking to work together and would like some more personalized help, I have a 6-week YouTube Jumpstart offer where we would do 6 calls over 6 weeks, plus you'd have access to me directly. We'd work closely to optimize your channel, refine your niche, figure out your content plan, help with scripting. We'll set you up with AI systems and projects that create outputs that are in your voice and that do things the way you want them done. Guidance on the filming, the editing, and the uploading process. And the guarantee is that by the end of the program, you would have 4 to 6 live videos plus real focus and real momentum in the direction that you're trying to go. I'm only taking on 2 people. This is not for everybody. I do have an application. I won't drop it in this meeting because we'll be ending shortly, but I'll make sure that that's available on Christine's post and then also in the NewTubers community. And it's by application only. So you fill out an application, we'll look at it. If it's a match, then we can talk about going forward. Okay.
Do you have a time limit on there, or is it like 2 a month or 2 every so many weeks?
It's
something.
2 at a time. And so after 6 weeks, then I would open it back up.
Okay. So if there's a link on my site, it can just keep going. So
cool.
Okay.
Much appreciated. All right. And that's it.
I feel like we're gonna get cut off here, but I just want to thank Woody and everyone for showing up tonight. And you can keep asking your questions, and then that way, at least if we get cut off, I've thanked you and everything will be put on my site, and I think it'll be on Woody's site. So if any questions, ask either one of us. So open for questions now.
Woody, can you do the shorts and the long at the same time? Like, or is that, you know what I mean? Or is it frowned upon? Because what I was thinking is doing like shorts as in 10, 20-second reels as a short, and then putting a bunch together as a long, maybe. And what's the minimum long video for minutes?
So some people might have opinions on whether you should or should not do shorts and longs at the same time. I think it's fine to do them both. I've heard people that work at YouTube on podcast interviews say that one video doesn't really impact the next. Now, they all do contribute to who your next video is going to be shown to, right? So if you're posting shorts,